Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, I had a chance to thank Seth, and I had a chance to thank Bob Cabana for the common sense, no-cost outreach that NASA did to reach thousands of people who were indifferent pretty much previously to space and now seem to be enthusiastic about it. And I just hadn't had a chance to thank you personally for that. And I think it's great. That's how we help spread the message. Yes, a couple of things, as to funding, I don't think any of us are where we would like to be with funding. But I think we're in a whole lot better place than we were a year ago with the uncertainty about sequestration, and so I'm trying to look at a glass half full in that regard, pretty much as you are. We need a deep space plan, Moon and Mars. There's no doubt about that, and we also need low Earth orbit options. So I know it's tight balancing that, and in space politics, you're always going to have some that want all one way and some that want the other way, and I hope that we will continue to understand that we do need both and go forward like that. A concern that I have, and I discussed it briefly with Dr. Holden yesterday, and he referred to a recent agreement that NASA has with Department of Energy over our space fuel supply. I wonder if you could bring me up to date on that a little bit.
Yes, sir. We have reached an agreement with DOE. They produce the plutonium pellets that we need. And so we're still in negotiations right now trying to understand how do we help them improve their facilities. Just the infrastructure that's needed to press the pellets for propulsion. We have enough right now in our stockpile to be able to fly the missions that are presently on the books for us, Mars 2020 and the like. But we have to work better with DOE to make sure that they can make the improvements to their infrastructure so that they can efficiently make the pellets that we need. We have lots of fuel, but it's old, and it needs new fuel, to mix in it to make it good. So
they're not in the process of destroying any or getting rid of any that you're aware of, or using it for anything else other than space?
I will have to take that for the record. I don't know the answer to that, sir.
Would you just find out? I would kind of like that assurance that it's not being used elsewhere for other things, or.
Yeah, I will, and I'll take that for the record. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, General. Any other comments you'd like to make about keeping on track with both?
It's a balance. And I come to this hearing, I feel better about where we are than ever before, to be quite honest. I just wish, I wanted to commend the chairman and ranking member because of the way they're working together. We got to do better than we're doing. I don't want to sit here and say what was the responsibility of the Bush administration, what happened in the Obama administration. As Congressman Barra said, what's done is done. We can't undo that. We can make a difference for the future. The thing that I will say is, what I'm talking about, none of us are going to be sitting around here in charge. I had some young people, MLLP, they had to leave mid-level leadership program. They're young, growing leaders in NASA, and they just wanted to see how we do this stuff. That's who's going to do all this stuff we're talking about. Deep space exploration is hard, and we cannot jump to Mars. We have to develop the technologies. We've got to be confident that our systems are going to work. That's why, when Chairman Smith asked about a Mars flyby is great, but it doesn't do anything for us in terms of deep space exploration. If the crew survives, and I have doubts about that, that's why I'm not a fan of a one-time Mars flyby. I mean, okay, we've done a one-time Mars flyby. As great as Apollo was, and it was awesome, we never stayed on the surface of the moon for more than days. If we're going to go to the surface of the moon, we better stay there for a month or 2 months, or we're not going to learn anything about the impact of less than 1 gravity on the brain or on other kinds.
But do we agree, unless at some point there's the ability to leave this Earth, the survival of our species is threatened?
I'm not a fatalist, but we do need to be able to be a multi-planet species.
A realist. We're trying to look at eternity. We're trying to look at the future.
I mean, one of these days our sun, you and I won't see it, nobody we know will see it, but one of these days our sun's going to burn out. It's a star. And it would be nice if we have become a multi-planet species by then, and we're not just on Mars. By then, people will be living in other solar systems because the solar system will go away.
You know,
So we got to get beyond. Like my granddaughter says, you know, she says, "OG, you're thinking about Mars. I'm going way beyond that," and she's right. When the sun gives out, this solar system goes away.
We have to think about planting trees.
Yes,
For
other
future
places.
generations
Yes,
the
exactly.
shade from which we'll never expect to have.
You're right.
And I like Neil deGrasse Tyson when he says, you know, space is truly the only investment we make for future generations.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I now recognize the gentleman from Arizona, Mr.